Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hospitality Musings for Tuesday, 24th of July. Hopefully I sound okay. Last couple of times I've gone live, I've sounded like a chipmunk, apparently. Hopefully by the end of the week this will be sorted. I've got a new router coming. As I've been complaining, the broadband here seems to come and go and keep dropping in and dropping out. What I've been doing a lot since lockdown is I've been watching a lot of industry webinars and Zooms, etc. Things that I never used to do, but it's been quite illuminating. Some of it has backed up what I've been saying anyway. Yesterday I watched the Estrella. I'm going to get this right. I'm going to take a look at it. It's the Estrella Damm Top 50 Gastropub Bites. It's an ongoing series brought to you by William Reed, the industry, what do they call it? Publication company. In this one, they brought some of the chefs. There was two of Tom Kevich's chefs there. One from the Paul Ainsworth and a few others, and we're just talking about their experiences and of reopening and various parts of the industry. Heath Bull was talking about how he owns a couple of gastropubs, apparently. I think it's in London. And he was talking about and he was saying really there are no rules. They decided to turn the business around, keep going. So his take on it was anything could go on the takeaway menu, providing it was still of good enough quality by the time the customer got it home. So he was saying things like steaks didn't go on because they won't travel. He said chips was an interesting one. They don't really travel, but it's one. He was saying it's one ingredient, one aspect of takeaways that we forgive because we used to go into a fish and chip shop and taking them away from there. So I suppose we've got used to how chips will be when we get home. He said nothing's off limit, and be open to change. So he was saying they regularly change their menu. They put things on. If things take off, they stay on, and if they don't, they come off and replace with something else. So that was quite interesting. One of the things that he was approached by one of his staff was for frozen margaritas. He wasn't really keen on the idea to be with Heath, but he put it on there, and he said they've gone out like a storm. I'm sorry if you have come into the broadcast, I'm unable to see the comments at the moment, so I don't know what's going on. So I don't know whether that means I'm squeaking like a chipmunk still, or it's just something going on there. Let's see if I can get it up on. I'll see as I'm talking whether I could get it up on Facebook as well, so I can see if anybody's commenting. So Keith was saying it's very much give the customers what they want. I think he's decided that they're going to continue with the takeaway menu to run alongside their sit-in menu, which seems to me to be a good idea. You've got to maximise the revenue per customer, per square foot. Let's see if I get comments up on there. Sorry, I had it running in two places. Right. So yeah, it's a case of you're there. You've got your limited amount of sitting space. So if you keep the deliveries going at the same time, that's giving you twice to go at the available income. He said, especially around where he is, there aren't very good takeaways. So that's why he thinks they've been particularly successful with their takeaway menu. Then there was also yesterday, and this was Chris Hall, who is a director of the Burnt Chef Project. It's a mental health project for the industry. And it was quite interesting listening to him. I can resonate with some of this. I'm not a chef, but what he was saying, at the moment we've all got used to having 3 months off, being with the family, going to bed early, not the long 12, 14, 15-hour shifts that chefs do. So they've got used to that, and suddenly they're back in there. They're working these long shifts again. They're trying to please everybody, whilst at the same time being physically distant. So there's not the banter with their fellow people in their brigade like there normally would be. So he was saying it's important that the operators of your venue, so yourself, or if you've got managers in running one of your venues, you are telling them to be on the lookout for signs of stress within in your brigade. Might not just be the brigade, it might be out front of the road, but it's at this time it's very, our members of your staff skipping drinks, are they coming in tired? Are they skipping food? Are they not eating? It's all things you need to keep an eye on and have a chat with them if you see signs. It might be to say no, they're fine, which is fine, which is okay. You've touched base with them. You can't force them to open up if there is a problem. There might not be. It might just be their way of coping. Anyway, so that was interesting. And then there was Paul Ainsworth, who as the hotel and Mariner's Arms and Number 6 restaurant down in Padstow. I've not eaten there. We did go past it a couple of years ago when we were in that part of the world on holiday. And he was saying that he was really talking about reduced capacity and reduced space. He said, you've got to use your common sense. It's all about explaining, and I've talked about this before, explaining to your clientele what's going to happen, not expecting them to turn up and know how the system in your venue is going to work. So what he did is he went round and took, he staggered the opening of his 3 places, with Number 6 opening, I think, like he said, on the Friday, and the Mariners, I think, was the first one. What he can't do, so he took a video of each venue. He did a walk around to show customers what the systems were in place. So they weren't anxious when they got there. And what he also did is he had one of the managers or one of the senior members of staff as on a sort of meet and greet at the door. So again, it was there to reassure and show people what was going on and how it was all operating. And he said the feedback from his clientele was that was very much appreciated, and they liked that, and that gave them the confidence to go back. The other thing he said, when he first opened on the Monday, he had all front of house staff wearing face coverings. But he said, again, talking to the clientele that came in those first few days, is that by the end of the week, when he opened Number 6, he took the decision that they weren't going to have face masks. He said the clientele didn't want them, but what he said happened was that each member of staff had their own carried their own hand sanitizer on the belt. They had to hand sanitize a minimum of every quarter of an hour, I think he said. So all the clients and customers saw that that's what was happening, and they were very happy with that, and it made them feel reassured. And he said the other thing that happened, which is what I've talked about, is he said for those clients who are hard of hearing, he said it made them feel more inclusive, and they could talk to and communicate with the staff because they could see lip read, etc. So that was quite interesting. And then today I watched one which was a bit dry, which was about if you're aware, the Financial Conduct Authority has actually taken some of the insurance companies to court regarding business interruption insurance. Now, what this is, and I discovered, they're not taking them to court to come to a financial decision. This is more taking them to court, and some of the insurance companies have agreed to go to court to get a judgment on the wording of the policies. So that's where they are at the moment. And if you're bored and probably an insomniac, well, it won't be an insomniac because this will be during the day, but if you're bored during the day, apparently the court case is being streamed live on the FCA website. I haven't gone to see it. I should think that's pretty much, if you do need an afternoon nap and you're having trouble going off, put it in there. It's going to be, it's all interpretation of wording and that, and it is a very important for the industry. It is going to be, it's very, very legalese. So it's something we need to keep an eye on. Again, at the moment, the suggestion is if you're approached by your insurance company with an offer of payment under business interruption insurance clause, then don't immediately accept it. Take some advice on what they're offering. Speak to, I don't know, BII if you're in UK Hospitality, any one of those that perhaps is offering free legal advice as part of your membership. Just speak to them before you agree any figures. But that's going to be ongoing for a few days. And finally, just talk about the Eat Out to Help Out campaign, and how, as a venue, you should be accounting for the discounts. Within my industry, there's been a bit of chatter how this is going. One of our council members has actually approached my professional body's accountants for clarification, and it's very much come back as I read it, is that the accountants have said under their understanding of reading the regulations is VAT has to be applied on the full value of the pre-discount food bill. So therefore it needs to be done at the time of the bill. So if they came in on the first Tuesday of August, and their bill came to £21, you could obviously, and that was just on food and non-alcoholic drinks, you get a £10 voucher, but you've got to account for the VAT element of that £21 on that Tuesday. One of our members had thought perhaps it was going to be whether you would defer it until you got your refund from the government, but that's not what the Institute's accountants are saying. That way it won't muck up your gross profit figure if you have regular stock taking. There's one happens during August, so that will do. So what you need to do, as well as keep I think I'm going to suggest is, as well as keeping the daily records you need to make your claim to HMRC, is you design some vouchers you keep next to the till, because in effect what you're doing is on this £21 you're going to get £10, so you would write a voucher out for £10, you'd have £11 from your customer, with that be cash or card. You'd bring the full £21 through the till, but you'd have payment in cash or card of £11, and you'd have the £10 voucher to go in, so that when you till up at the end of the night, just think of those in effect as checks, so it doesn't matter what the amount is. Add those up, add that to your cash and your credit card slips, and that then should balance across the till. So you're not waiting for accounting for the VAT. You're not waiting for that until the time that you get your refund. So it's got to be done at the time you actually make the sale. So quite straightforward, but it is, you need to be thinking how you're going to make sure your staff understand that, because if you don't record the number of people and the amounts, then you're going to find you're not going to be able to reclaim it from HMRC. But it is a good marketing for August. remember it's for Monday to Wednesdays in August only. I did see a post today locally where someone was sort of, I think it was a customer, was sort of saying, oh, to somebody else, I will get down this Wednesday. And I had to, it's pointed out to them, no, it's in August. So you got to wait a little bit just for it to happen. But the best way is to have some bank vouchers by your till. You fill out the amount that the government, the 50% or the £10, whichever it is, because remember they're only going up to £10, so it's not a straight 50%. That goes in along with the cash or credit card slip, and that makes it balance. And that way you don't have to do anything with your VAT return. Your VAT return will just be done as normal. And then you get, because HMRC apparently feel that it will make no difference because they're going to try and get the money out fairly quickly to you, then that shouldn't cause any issues with any VAT returns. So that's it for tonight. If you've had value for this, please, as it says, as it's going across the bottom of the screen, please tag, invite friends. I'm not got used to doing these still. So I'm supposed to say that right at the end, beginning and at the end. But as you come into any of these, please put a comment in to say you're watching live. If you do watch this on a replay, put in the comments replay. If you've got any questions, I'll be quite happy to go back in later when I get notification. I'll look at the questions and answer them best I can, or I will tell you someone to go and get that information, or I will go and find it for you. So thanks very much. That's Hospitality Musings for Tuesday, the 21st of July. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night for more of my musings on the news in the hospitality industry. Thank you and good night for now.